The Grey match this year has certainly ranked as one of the best schoolboy rugby games on Lower in its history since it was bought for the school by good old Sir Jacob Barry in 1896. Grey's always a tough one each year, and every year college goes out and tries to get them to respect them. Sometimes they get it right, but more often not. And this team has been on the wrong end of the result since under 14, where they took 60 points plus. And they say that rugby is a game where tradition and the very fabric and makeup of the team yields much more than individual talents. Never a true word said in respect of these guys. And they were very privileged this year to have a coaching staff who've made them believe in themselves and also play an expansive and open game of rugby, which is why their backs have scored more than 2/3 of their over 80 tries. And Andy and Bradders have been inspirational, and old Scott's backed them up well as a manager role. But the one thing that counted in the favour this year is that they are well conditioned and they're fit. And this has allowed them to take the game away from oppositions in the second half. They did it against Queens, they shut the game out against Selborne, and it was going to prove critical against Grey. They were fitter than Grey, no doubt. And Hulk's contribution to their conditioning this year has been massive. The moments of inspiration which led up to the match all pointed to one hell of a game. The hockey boys winning, the shotters, the basketball, the rowers, the cricketers earlier in the year. And then there was a psych-up speech at Warcries where the first team old grey boy told the school not to bother to get up the next morning if they weren't prepared to die for the 3 stripes jersey. And then the fact that the age group sides competed better than normal in the morning. And we also then went on to win the majority of the open matches on the day. So they knew they had a chance when they went on the field, these guys. But then, besides the passion that was raised by the crowd of OAs and old DSG girls at a reunion who crammed around the field, the guys did a whole lot of basic things right that afternoon. They were brilliant at kick-off time, winning all of Grey's and stealing 4 of their own. I think they won 8 out of their 9 scrums. They won 7 out of their 9 lineouts, and the 2 they lost resulted in knock-ons and scrums for them. And then, crucially, of their 8 penalty kicks at touch, they kicked them all into touch. So they didn't give Grey any gaps. And similarly, the tackle count, which I don't have the numbers of that, would have definitely been in our favour. And I can tell you that the forwards around the fringes and the breakdown were immense. And that's lucky because Grey played a lot of the game in that space. Then you had the handling, which was spot on that day. So they never gave away any momentum. And then finally, something which was impressed the Grey people afterwards and was commented to me was that our guys were physical. We were up for the game. The first half saw Grey score through their number 8 and us bounce back immediately with old Captain Courageous, and we were 5-5. Then Grey gets a card, and as we attack, thinking we're going to score, a charge down and ends up in a try under the poles, and Jack's carded for landing on the scorer. He says he didn't. We'll wait and see. A penalty follows from the centre spot, and suddenly we're 15-5 down, playing into the wind. And then the 28th minute arrives, and Fleming runs a sharp angle from the attacking scrum and scores. 10-15, but 2 minutes later, Grey bounced back again with another try from their number 8. 10-22. Then another Grey try follows 3 minutes later from a great backline move, and we're down 10-29. This is all happened in 15 hectic minutes. Somehow the guys didn't panic or lose heart, and they came back with a hard second try from Dean. Conversion missed, and boom, 15-29, we go into half time. Legend has it that the coaches' talks were inspirational, and the boys are calm and positive when they're in their various huddles in the middle. 10 minutes into the second half, now with the wind, Grey score again from an awkward bouncing ball. 15-36. What is going on here? Are we now about to get our asses kicked? Costa is seen to call the guys together under the poles and apparently tell the buggers that they're going to be part of the biggest comeback on Lower. Attitude is everything. 25 minutes left, 15-36, and things are about to change. Kick off, we win the ball in the middle of the field, go right, and Matt Moore powers his way to the try line. 20-36 as he hits the upright with a conversion. 3 minutes later, and a quick second phase with Costa choosing to go right, gives it to Varty, offloads to Jack, who scores untouched. Matt converts, now it's 27-36. The space out wide that we keep finding will prove to be Gray's weakness. Gray looks shocked under those poles, and I hear as college supporter ask Gray why they keep coming back under the poles so often, and he tells them that they're actually looking tired. Intense stuff indeed. Then a huge moment in the game. Their big number 8 is through, but Sharwood catches him from behind and pulls off the tackle of this season, stopping a certain 7 points. It would have been 27-43. It's a long way with only 15 minutes left. Gray continue to put together some good phases, and then they grab the ball ahead on the left of the field. We gather it going backwards, we take it up, ruck, kickbox, a good chase, a good tackle, another ruck, and then we turn over possession. The ball goes out wide to Fleming, who offloads to Sharwood, who makes some fast yards upfield, and passes to Varty, who scores in the corner. Matt converts from the touchline, and Gray stand quietly under the poles. I know, I was behind those poles. Suddenly we're 2 points behind, 34-36. From the kickoff, we make good ground again, and with 5 minutes to go, we get a penalty right in front of the poles. A defining moment in the game for sure. Up walks Matt to take the lead. He has had an average kicking day, I would say, and I'm sure that he had a few nerves as he strikes that ball straight into the same upright he hit earlier. But it was as if at that moment his late dad Nick, who watches all the games from above the poles, intervened and made sure that ball flew back over Matt's head and into the hands of Fleming, who ran up hard, set up a ruck from which Oscar dummied the whole back line and danced past some forwards to score a lifetime try right next to the poles. It's unbelievable. Matt converts and we lead 41-36. Lower is pumping. Great kick off and apply the pressure, which was handled by some huge tackles, and I recall there were Jason and Christian jointly pulling down the number 12, who looked like he was on his way to score. We then get a penalty, a critical penalty, and kick to touch. The call is to the front, and James hold onto a throw under pressure. We keep the ball, wind down the clock, and we kick it out. Game over, and we've won. The greatest comeback that I've ever seen on lower. The school and the supporters swamped that field and the boys. Frankly, I'm reduced to tears behind the poles. I'm not alone, and the parents and a lot of boys are swept away in this amazing moment. It was a great game of rugby, and the boys were the ones who came out on top. Grey were gracious, I must say, in their defeat, and the lasting moment for me was a great parent who's the dad of the head boy and who played on the day and also played with Jack at junior school, coming to find me in amongst that crowd on lower to congratulate the boys and shake my hand. Our team will never forget that game, and neither will anybody who was there on that day. It was an amazing day on lower.